discuss the other two anomalies related to data redundancy. That is the insert anomaly and the delete anomaly. Now we've already discussed the update anomaly and the link for that video I will upload in the description. So next, after the update anomaly, the two more anomalies that are encountered in case of data redundancy are the insert anomaly and the delete anomaly. Now, as in my previous video, I gave you an example wherein we had various columns or records like the enrollment number, the student name, the address, the course number, the course name, and the instructor. Now here, as I told you, there was a lot of redundant information. The problem with redundancy was that it led to anomalies. The anomalies were the update anomalies, the insert anomaly, and the delete anomaly. Now the update anomaly we have already discussed, and the link to that video I will put in the description. Today what we are going to discuss is the insert and delete anomaly. Now first of all, let's have a look at the insert anomaly. That is an anomaly that arises when we try to insert data inside this table. Now, as per the entity integrity constraint, the entity integrity constraint says that whenever we want to store a new tuple inside an already existing table, it should be inserted in such a manner that it has a value for the primary key. Now, as you know that the primary key value can never be null. Okay, so this is a constraint that the primary key value can never be null. There must exist a value for a primary key when you insert a new tuple inside the table of a database. Now, the primary key, as you can clearly see over here, is the enrollment number. Yes? Now, enrollment number is a column or an attribute which is associated with a student. A student would be having an enrollment number. A course will not have an enrollment number. Okay? So now it says that when I want to, as per the entity integrity constraint, what does it say? That every tuple must have a value for the primary key. Now say for example, I want to add a new course over here. You can see the list of courses over here. We have data structure, we have computer organization, we have system analysis and design. Say for example, I want to put a new course known as artificial intelligence, AI. I want to list one another course in this table named as artificial intelligence. Okay. Now, as of now, no student has enrolled in artificial intelligence. It is a new course which is being introduced. Now, since this is a new course which is being introduced in the organization, I need to put the details of this course in the database of the organization. Now, all the details of the courses are put in this particular table. And artificial intelligence being a new course, nobody has enrolled in this course. But we have introduced this course in the college. So I want to have the details of this course. So in order to have these details of this course, I will put all the details in this particular table. Say for example, this is a hypothetical situation I am taking. I have introduced a new course, artificial intelligence. Now I want to put the details of this course within my database. Yes? Artificial intelligence is a new course that has been introduced. I assign this course to a particular faculty, say Sia. Sia is a new faculty to whom I assigned artificial intelligence. The code for this particular course is 013. These are the details that I have regarding this course, and these details I need to feed inside the database. Done? Okay. Now since this is a new course, no student has enrolled in this course. Yes. So that means I will not be having any values for the enrollment number, no value for the enrollment number, no value for the student name, and no value for the address of the student. Of course, since no student has enrolled, so these values will be blank. But how is it possible? Because this whole is one tuple. This whole row is one tuple. And in that case, this tuple is having only partial information, that is the course code, artificial intelligence, and the instructor name. And the major, and these two attribute, that is the enrollment number, can never be left blank. But since nobody has enrolled in this course, I do not know what would be the enrollment number. That means it is violating the entity integrity constraint. Yes, since it is violating the entity integrity constraint, that means what is this? This is an anomaly of the database. And what anomaly is this? This is a database anomaly due to redundant information. So this is one problem that arises at the time of insertion of new tuples. This problem is known as the insert anomaly. And why did this problem arise? Obviously because of redundant information, because all the information is collectively stored in just a single table. Yes? So this was the example of insert anomaly. Now let's look at one more example, at another anomaly, that is the delete anomaly. Now we will look at the delete anomaly. That is an anomaly that arises at the time of deletion of a record from the table or from the database. Now say for example a student named Kia has left the organization or has left the college, right? So that means this student no longer exists inside the organization. If this student is not existing inside the organization, that means I don't want to have the records of this particular student. Yes? So what will I do? I will delete all the records of this particular student. So what happens? Enrollment number deleted because now no such enrollment number exists. The name deleted because no such name exists. The associated address also deleted. Now with these details, these three attributes, that is the course number, course code and instructor name, also get deleted at the time of deletion. Since this is one tuple, okay, this is one single tuple. So when I delete the enrollment number, the corresponding attributes also get deleted. So in that case, I lose one important information, that is, what information do I lose? That this particular course code and course name exists in my organization. Okay, I lose this information. Yes, so this anomaly arises because of the delete operation performed on the database. Because again, the entire information is stored in one table. Course number, student details, the course details as well as the student details, all are stored in a single table, leading to redundant information. And when we try to delete any tuple inside such a redundant table, what we have is a delete anomaly. Because when I try to delete a particular record, say for example, as I told you, here we have a student course data structure whose instructor is Anu, whose course code is 013, for a student whose enrollment number is this and name is Kia, who's from Delhi. Say for example, this is one tuple. Okay. Now data structure is a course having a course code 013 whose instructor's name is Anu. This information is fetched from this particular tuple. Now if Kia leaves the college, I will have to delete the record related to Kia. That means this entire tuple will have to be deleted. Now we do not have any information regarding the course known as the data structure over here. Can you anywhere see? No. So that is a delete anomaly. That means when you lose out on important information while deleting a particular table, that is the delete anomaly. Again, that is why, because you have redundant information. Alright. So these were the anomalies, the delete anomaly, the insert anomaly and the update anomaly that arise because of redundant information inside a database. So how to resolve this problem? How to reduce redundancy in a table so as to overcome these problems? This we will discuss in the next video.